Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the Productwise channel. I'm Nancy Fox. I'm CEO of Fractional Connections and Productwise, a product development company that enables professional service providers, consultants, and fractional executives in launching productized services. So today, I want to talk to you about a challenge that keeps so many service professionals stuck. They have too many ideas and they don't know which one to turn into a profitable productized service. So many of you tell me that you experience this because you've got expertise in a variety of areas of business and you see opportunities everywhere, but you're paralyzed by choice, right? I get that. So, which service should you package? What product should you go after first? What has the best chance of success for you? I've been exactly where you are, and I'll share my story with you. So when I first started my consulting business, I had a broad background in leadership and management training and product development. And over time, I started specializing in something, really angling my training to combining my communication skills with success mindset. And that really was something that companies loved. I helped their employees become more confident and better communicators and interact with each other, breaking down silos. And it had a lot to do with how their attitude and their mindset was impacting the way they were communicating. So I really enjoyed that. And this is where it gets really interesting. While I could have productized my leadership training, I noticed something else was gaining a lot of traction: my business development expertise. People kept asking me about my networking strategies. How was I gaining access to so many top tier decision makers? How was I finding and meeting them? How was I landing great clients just through my networking? And I realized that I had developed over time a unique method for this. So, you know what I wound up introducing as my first product offer? I ended up productizing my targeted networking system. It started with a book on targeted networking, Network Like a Fox, and I added a workbook to that. And then I turned all of that into a comprehensive 8-week course for service professionals in accounting firms and law firms in order to help them develop more rainmakers in their firms. You see, there were a lot of introverts and people in those firms that were really sort of reticent to network. I help them really get out of their, move into a more confident place, out of their comfort zone, and develop new relationships with ideal decision makers. And that's how they got more business. And every 6 months, these firms would enter new professionals that they had hired into the program. So that became a recurring revenue source for me. And then I also created a playbook for professionals on how to access top tier decision makers and a custom tracking tool for relationship management and turning them into real clients. So the question is, how did I choose this direction over all my other options? So it came down to these key questions. Number one, what did I really enjoy doing that was unique and special and that would give me a competitive edge in a marketplace? Who had a really big problem to solve that I had a differentiated solution for? Well, what I realized was that the people that were having a really difficult time networking were people that were very, very busy, that really needed a fast solution, that were more were struggling with being more engaging, more communicative, more extroverted. So I knew that this was really true in professions such as accounting firms and in law firms. And I knew that they had a really big problem with this because they needed to have more rainmakers, more business developers, more salespeople in their firms. And the third question I asked myself was, how could I systematize this to make it repeatable and recurring for being able to sell it into firms and companies on a regular basis without reinventing the wheel every single time? So I chose the lowest hanging fruit, which was my targeted networking methodology, because I knew that this would help all these professional service firms turn their employees into rainmakers. And there were many, many firms, and they all had the same problem. So the way I approach this is available to you too. It's exactly how we help our clients use this very methodology at Productwise. And here's how we approach it. We use a three-stage method for successful productization. The first stage is discovery, second stage is development, third stage is marketing and monetization. So let's look at how this three-stage system leads to successful introductions, how it led to my successful introduction of my networking offer and how it can help you too. So in discovery, I always begin with who. Who am I targeting? What are their biggest migraine headaches? See, when you know your exact who, which I began to realize were accounting firms and law firms, I understood what their biggest headaches were, their biggest migraine headaches. There were dozens and dozens of professionals in these firms, and they really weren't carrying their weight. They were doing the work, but they weren't bringing new business into the firm, and the firms really needed more of that. So what are their biggest migraine headaches, and what are they yearning to alleviate immediately? And what are they struggling with so much that they avoid it and they wind up paying a big price? Well, a lot of times these firms were saying, well, we're just gonna, we're gonna try and teach these professionals by giving the current rainmakers time with them, but those rainmakers were too busy. They were busy rainmaking, and they really weren't very good teachers. So they needed some outside input. And all of this, really, this is basically the same methodology that you can use. Who are you targeting? What are their biggest migraine headaches? What are they yearning to alleviate immediately? And what are they struggling with so much that they haven't been able to solve it, and they'll pay the price of engaging you? And then we look at what unique solutions that you have used or that you have that will neutralize these migraines and help clients move forward, achieving the very specific outcomes that they want. So I was able to, by training people in a unique method and showing them exactly where to network and what to say to the decision makers at these networking events, they started to gain relationships and interact with the right people, actual decision makers, and they started closing more business. And it's the same thing for you. What unique solutions do you have that will neutralize these migraine headaches? And then number three, what these solutions are then systematized into repeatable prototypes and pilot tested. And this is when you then move into the development stage. So what I was able to do is I systematized this into a repeatable prototype. I pilot tested it with a few firms. They really liked it, and then I rolled it out officially. And along the way, in this development stage, I was introducing my prototype to select previewers. I was gaining a lot of valuable research from them. I was testing their demand and their usage, what they found easy, what they found difficult, and I refined my product. And you can do the exact same thing. You will refine your product, you'll test it, you'll hone it, and you'll finalize it so that and then at the same time, you're developing your branding. Once you've vetted your product, and that's a really important step to not overlook, when you want to vet your product to make sure that you're moving in the right direction, that you're gaining traction with your clients, you're proving its viability, and you're gaining acceptance and ability to produce desired outcomes. Once you get these outcomes with your pilot testers, you can use them as testimonials. Now you're ready to move into the marketing and monetizing stage. And in marketing and monetizing, you're finalizing your branding, you're honing your messaging, you're creating your marketing funnel. How are you going to get more people into your funnel? What's the methodology? Are you going to use LinkedIn? Are you going to use ads? Are you going to use email marketing? And you're establishing your recurring revenue price levels at the same time. You're really starting to get your pricing down flat, and you're testing out the acceptability of that. Maybe you need to tweak it a little bit here and there. Maybe you need, instead of having 3 levels, maybe you only need 2 levels. You're getting ready to launch and finally officially selling your productized offer. So whether your offer is going to be a training course, a playbook, a membership, curated data that you send your customers every single month, or maybe a maintenance service, productizing is all about turning your know-how, your expertise, and approach into systems and recurring revenue that gives your clients greater consistency and value, and you more time and predictable revenue. And now it's your turn. I've created a free 7-step productizing roadmap for you to get started on the right foot. And I'll leave the link to sign up for that in the description box below. And remember, the goal isn't to pick the perfect offer, it's to choose the one with the highest probability of success right now. take action on that first, and then you can expand your product suite later. So if you found this video helpful, I hope you'll hit the like button and subscribe for more practical tips on productizing your services. And drop a comment below with your biggest takeaway or question, and I'll see you in the next video.